Hey guys, my name is Leka Crystal, and for today I want to share with you guys the top 50 most asked questions during an interview for a Schengen visa. And anyway, if you are curious or if you have no idea what this whole interview will be about, this interview will be about them wanting to know more personal stuff about you and your intentions in visiting their country. Also, if you are wondering how many questions will they ask you, it sort of depends on your situation. There are some situations where they will only ask you like 3-4 questions, and there are also some interviews where they will ask you a lot of questions. It all depends. If you are invited by someone else, then you are likely to have more questions because they're basically just gonna ask you or like poke around with your relationship to that person. During the interview, they might sometimes ask very weird questions, but I think you should just answer them because they have their own purposes on why they're asking these questions. But worry not, they won't ask you this much questions if you're not really doing a very long stay. For short stays, I can guarantee that you won't get very intensive questions. The interview will only last for like 10 to 15 minutes. I have been interviewed twice and they did not really last that long, so yeah, rest assured, just keep calm and maybe study up on the questions. And just a little FYI, I did not make these questions up. It is actually from the Schengen visa info page. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested in reading more questions. But if you don't like reading, then just watch this video. What is the purpose of your visit? Which countries in the Schengen area are you planning to visit? Is this your first time in the Schengen area? Have you ever traveled to other places? When will you travel to the Schengen area? Where are you going to stay? How much will this trip cost you? Are you traveling with someone else? How long are you going to stay in Europe? This is actually one of the dumbest questions that they asked, but it has been asked to me twice. The itinerary is right in front of them, so they know how long I'm staying there, but they still want to ask that question. It's very obvious, but they just want to make sure that you are knowing how long you're staying there so that they will have this kind of sense of security that you aren't going to overstay. So that's why they asked that question anyway. Why do you need a 1 month, 3 months, or however long your trip is? Why do you need that much time during your trip? What is your educational qualification? It is so random, but I've never gotten this question, but apparently it's one of the most asked, so yeah. Do you have a covered health insurance during the trip in Europe? Have you booked or bought the flight ticket? Can you show your bank statement? If you've already handed it to them, obviously they won't ask that question, but sometimes they do. How do we know that you will return home within the visa allowed period? Which company do you work for? What does your company do? How long have you been working? How much do you earn? Do you have a job leave letter approval from your employer? Do you have family or friends in Europe? Who will pay for your visit? Now to even more personal questions. Are you married? If yes, what does your spouse do? For how long have you two been married? Do you have any children? How old are they? What do they do? Do you have any family or friends living in the Schengen area? This one is for specifically US people. Do you pay income tax? Does your son or daughter have any children? How many siblings do you have? What are your plans after you return? What do you know about the country that you're visiting? What will you do if you will be rejected? This one kind of hurts though. I don't think you would ever be asked that unless you are super missing required documents. So some of these questions are actually very logical, and some of them, if you feel like it's not making sense, that's probably because it's not appropriate for your visa type. But these questions are generally asked for different visa types, but different types of visa types for the Schengen area. I don't know. Did that make sense? I hope it did, and thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to know how to answer these questions, you can actually read in the description box. In this link, they actually give you tips on how to answer the questions so that you can nail this interview. And last but not the least, I hope you guys enjoy your trip in Europe. I'm pretty sure you will be doing fine if you have everything completed. Yeah, that's it. Bye! If you want to know more about the European tourist visa, click any of these videos.